17th. Will the secretary take the roll, please?
Certainly. Mr. Stepanek,
Here.
Miss Jameson here, Miss Kirby,
Here.
Mr. Dobbin,
Here.
Miss Bernali,
Here.
Miss Ross,
Here.
Mr. Sillo, no.
Absent.
Miss Woike, no. Mr. Perkins,
Absent.
no. I don't think I've missed anybody. Hope not.
Kathleen, are you there? Yeah, I see you. We don't have to add anybody if we don't want to. Is that right?
Let's see, who's an alternate at the moment?
All right.
Me.
These are all regular
I
members.
am an alternate.
All right. Priscilla and Anthony are alternates.
No, I'm an alternate.
So
Yeah, but
Penny
you're here. You're here.
Oh, okay.
Penny
So
Ross
we're gonna-
could be seated for George Perkins.
I'm
Oh,
gonna.
okay.
Right.
Penny Ross could be seated for George Perkins if you wish to do that.
That's a good idea. All right.
Okay.
So we're all set to go. All right. Approval of the agenda. You'll have a copy of tonight's agenda. Any comments or if
I
not,
move approval.
Second. Sorry.
all those in favor, raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 15th. You'll have a copy of that. May I hear approval for that.
I'll move to approve.
Calm. I'll second it. I'll second. All those in favor, raise your
Aye.
hands. Aye.
I'll abstain since I wasn't present.
Who said that?
Beth.
Oh, Beth. Okay, good. We have one application for June 21st, application number 2021-32. I won't read it, but Keith E. Simpson and Associates will be the presenter. Number 7, schedule site visit. We're gonna have a site visit rather at this time. It's for June 16th, which is a Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. Is there anyone that cannot make that?
Probably me. Probably me.
Yeah, and I have to leave a bit early because I've got an 8:30 meeting, so I'd have to leave at 7:40. I'm sorry, 8:15.
But
So
can
Calm, you
hear me?
can't, and who cannot make it besides Calm?
Can you hear me, Dan?
Penny, yes, I can hear you, yes.
Okay, I have a surgery sometime that day, but I don't know at this point. They're not going to tell me until later. So I would certainly like to be there because it involves the river that I live on. So at this point, I would like to be there.
I would recommend, with so many not able to make that particular date, let's pick another date that might be a better option for the commissioners. We have time to do a site visit. The presentation will be June 21st. So we could flip back to June 9th if you'd like to look at that day. I better check my own schedule too. I'm just throwing that out there because it sounds to me like we have so many that couldn't make it.
I thought you couldn't make that, Kathleen.
You're correct. June 9th is not good for me. June 10th is good, which is a Thursday.
Let's do it.
All right, that's 7:30. How long do you think that will take us, Kathleen? An hour?
I would say give yourself an hour.
Give
Yeah.
yourself an hour. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a 9
I-
o'clock. That shouldn't be a problem. 9 o'clock should be okay.
Right?
So we're now looking at June 10th, is that correct, at 7:30 a.m.?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I will send details as far as like getting there. We'll see what things look like on June 10th, but we will, yes, Peggy?
Okay.
So
you
Peggy
make it
cannot
at
make
one?
it. She's muted, so I can't hear her. So just unmute yourself, Peggy. I'm sorry, we still can't hear you.
No, now I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was muted. I forgot. I'll go the weekend before the 16th. I will be around then in New Canaan, so I'll go and do the properties myself that weekend.
Okay.
Now, can I just ask a quick question? Because I've never done it myself. Do I have to call the homeowners, or can I just show up?
Go through me and I will coordinate that with the applicant to make sure that they're okay. You know, they're not having a graduation party or something, or maybe you'll get to attend it too. Also, if there's a time during the week, and I'm happy to go on the weekend if I'm available as well. I don't mind going out with you if you would rather me go along. So we can coordinate that as we get closer.
Okay, but you don't have to, Kathleen. I can certainly do it. But you put in enough hours. I'm happy to do it myself.
All right, Peggy, you're gonna go on your own.
I will.
The rest of us at 7:30 on June 10th, right? In the morning?
Keith Simpson might be willing to go with you, Peggy. That's, you know, he
Oh,
did
okay.
once with me too.
Okay, thank you.
All right, open regular meeting. We have no applications. We have 7 administrative actions here. I went through these, Kathleen. It looks like 4 of these are pools,
I know.
right? And maybe the 5th one is also, there's a
I
run
think- I
on
think-
pools.
Yeah, I counted 8 altogether. You said 7. I hope you're looking at the right agenda, right? Item
2, 3,
8, 9,
4.
10,
I got
11.
7. I got 7.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you're correct. I counted an extra paragraph. It felt like
Alright.
8. Yes, pools, and pools. That is the subject of the summer here in New Canaan. Everyone is putting in a swimming pool, and most of these folks are new to the community. So, you know, there are a lot of property transfers taking place. So they went through a very comprehensive vetting process with our land use department, and some of those pool applications on this happen to require the administrative wetland application. So full plans were reviewed, and most of these are likely, most of these projects, as I look over them, are already underway, with the exception of 1 or 2. But they seem to be moving quickly once they do get their full approvals. Yeah, I would say almost all of these, the 6 of the 7 are actually under construction currently. The last one, number 14, is a demolition and new construction. I was at the site the other day because they had some questions regarding tree removal at that location. The house is already demolished, and they're we'll start with their tree work next, and then they already have their building permit in place, so they'll go forward. They'll just keep on moving. So there's a tremendous amount of inspections going on right now. So this was a little bit of a backlog because I don't think we met in April. So we had, I'm reporting everything. So that's why it does look like quite a number, but it doesn't seem to be any slowdown of activity.
Any questions about that? Anyone? All right. Moving on, other educational program. Certainly Kathleen knows, and Angela knows what I'm going to say, but for the others, let me read something as an introduction to this educational program. Over the past few weeks, both Kathleen and Angela have had discussions with Robin Bates Mason about subjects and communication avenues the Wetlands Commission could undertake to educate residents of New Canaan about the importance of wetlands. For those of you who may not know Robin, she is a member of the town council and is involved with Planet New Canaan, which is an active environmental group in our high school here. We thought that tonight you would like to hear what has been discussed, and after that, we would like to see what you think of the overall idea, and we would like to hear any other comments you may have. Kathleen, will you begin the discussion with Angela, following up with her thoughts? Kathleen?
Thanks, Dan. This discussion and subject initiated, I think, with a discussion between Robin and Angela. Robin, I've worked with quite a bit on Sustainable New Canaan Commission or committee, also with Planet New Canaan, Clean Your Mile. So we know each other through professional work. The ideas that are sort of formulating and kind of bubbling up, the most immediate need, I think, right now, and I agree with the ideas that were floated, was to perhaps create a informational card or brochure regarding wetlands, who we are, contact information, and to be able to put something like that perhaps in the New Canaan Greeter. It's a group that welcomes new families to New Canaan. They put lots of welcoming information in the baskets. The idea also, we're kind of shooting off from another idea that has already been floated, and Angela might talk a little bit more about this. The Conservation Commission, along with Planet New Canaan and a whole bunch of other environmentally friendly advocates here in New Canaan, put together a 2-page pamphlet, if you will, that sort of explains some of the programs that they have going on. You will all be receiving this in your tax bill as a way of communicating to all the taxpayers about all of these great things that we have here in New Canaan. They touch on, water resources. They touch on aquarium and irrigation. They touch on our new food scraps program at the wastewater treatment plant. So it's a great idea. I think one by one, I am hearing from folks that are moving to New Canaan. They have great questions. They're not familiar with what wetlands are. So any opportunity that we might have to give some basic information and who to even call if they have a question, and make it in a very positive fashion, because we would rather have people ask the question. They might not like the answer that we have to give them, but at least they'll know the process and perhaps understand it and kind of start that relationship with our department. So that's the most immediate idea that I will be working on, and I'd like to float whatever comes from it by all of you, and get some feedback from you all as commission members. And then the second idea, sort of maybe a fall program or perhaps next spring, some sort of public education outreach around the basics. What are wetlands? How do we regulate wetlands in New Canaan? Who is the commission? And perhaps doing a forum of sorts. That's not fully vetted yet, that idea. So we're still kicking it around and discussing different venues for something like that, and trying to gauge, interest and come up with some sort of program. Something perhaps that might actually end up being at one of our commission members in the future, where we just take 20 minutes of time or so, and I'll do a little talk and have a discussion. Most of our stuff is tape recorded, so we can then upload that to the town website for anyone coming to the community, maybe clicking on that and just finding out what is land use, what is wetlands, and some other interesting aspects of the town, since there does seem to be a tremendous amount of interest in construction activities and learning about the properties that they are buying. So I think it's really a great idea, and I appreciate Angela sort of starting the discussion, and I'd like to hear, what she'd like to add.
So, well, thank you so much for that, Kathleen and Dan. So the genesis of this was that I picked up on the grapevine that a number of people in Planet New Canaan, and very influential people in Planet New Canaan, believed that the Inland Wetland Commission prevents homeowners from removing invasives in their wetlands. So I got in touch with Robin to ask her to disabuse people of this notion. Obviously, if you do anything in the wetlands, you need to get a permit, and we're going to ask questions. But no, we're very friendly towards the removal of invasives as part of a well thought out plan for wetlands. So that kind of triggered a whole discussion about Robin saying she didn't think people really understood what the function of wetlands, what wetland regulations are about, what you needed to do as a homeowner. And also as team leader for the sustainability team set up by the first selectman here in New Canaan, she's been organizing a lot of Zoom events where different kind of sustainability topics have been discussed. And she suggested that maybe we could do something like this. But, you know, as Kathleen says, that might very well be, you know, in the fall or spring of next year, because I think pretty much everything is, you know, booked up at the moment. And Robin suggested that we partner, if we do this, that we partner with Planet New Canaan, that has a program committee that is so used to setting up events like this, which would really take the heat off us and Kathleen as far as logistics were concerned. Robin also threw out the idea that we might partner with the Conservation Commission, with the Land Trust. And the reason for doing this is the more partners you have, the bigger the network that you're reaching out to attend your session. So I think we've got some great ideas going here and a very good discussion with others in the town who are minded to try and make New Canaan more sustainable.
Thank you. Any comments?
I think it's a great idea. You know, how many times over the years have we talked about people who have done things on their wetlands without permits, and had they known, they might not have done these things. So I do think that a program to get to inform people about wetlands regulations and moreover why we want to preserve wetlands would be great. And I think Planet New Canaan's a great partner to work with. I'm just wondering, Angela, were you thinking, or is Robin thinking of like a forum where it would be done in person, or like on Channel 79, or have you thought about, you know, how it would work?
Well, I think that so the discussions moved on a bit from my initial discussion with Robin, and Kathleen and Robin were also brainstorming about maybe using a commission meeting as a time for us to record an educational presentation that could be put up on the town's website. But maybe over and above that, afterwards, we could think about a program with more educational content that would perhaps be part of the library series. They always seem to be very willing to partner with Planet New Canaan. And Planet New Canaan, and Robin in particular, has great contacts with environmental experts. So, you know, it might be that Planet New Canaan could find an expert on invasives who would come and talk about that. And then, you know, we could tack on a short presentation about how we deal with invasives in the wetlands, and oh, by the way, what wetland regulations are all about. So
Yeah.
I think that's still very much in the idea phase.
I think that would be a great idea, having an external speaker who's recognized, like the program where Bill McKibben spoke at the country school, was that a couple of years ago, I guess, now at this point. That was really well attended and was supported by
Yes.
the library and I think Planet New Canaan and some other groups. Really
Oh.
terrific.
May I say something? This is Penny.
Yes, Penny.
Okay. I may be I live closer to a wetland than anybody. 6 feet right now, the Silvermine River, sometimes it's, you know, as Kathleen knows, actually in my lower level. So wetlands, you know, that's why I joined this commission. I also used to work for the Nature Conservancy in East Hampton, where I used to live, and my specialty was invasive plants. So I would be very happy to help with any effort involving that. One of the new invasive plants, lesser celandine, not everybody knows about, but I would definitely like to be involved in anything addressing, you know, those invasive plants, which lesser celandine being a very one associated with wetlands. Okay, But the other thing I'd like to say, which is a very positive thing, is thank you so much, Kathleen, for the Clean Your Mile, what's it called, directive. I went and got from Lola the garbage grabbers, and I gave one of them to my 4-year-old grandchild in Westport, and she loves to grab garbage. So, you know, whatever we can do to get people to do what needs to be done is a good thing, because up at Wheaton Duryea, just like 2 days ago, I said to them, there are a number of discarded masks between me and my car, you know, not me and my car, between your entrance and my car. And I wish someone could pick them up. I mean, it's just really off-putting. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Yes, Clear Mile was a, sort of a last minute thing, but this formula that we did this year really was very successful. We had terrific participation. I don't know, people are just looking to get out there and clean up the town. Maybe it's pent up COVID reaction or whatnot, but we're taking advantage of that. And, we still have more to do. Planet New Canaan, working with a river group, actually worked around Mill Pond this weekend, and Robin reported that they picked up, and she put it this way, only 50 pounds of trash. I thought that was a lot, but having the town had already gone in there most likely about a month before. So yes, I think litter attracts litter, to your point, Penny. So, and some of those agencies, like if you see an issue at Wheaton Duryea, I saw an issue at one of the church parking lots. So I'm going to reach out to them and just say, hey, FYI, you might not be aware of this. The masks are truly a problem, and they are a plastic product, if you didn't know that, and that is ending up in our waterways in a very bad way. So not to mention just the wetlands in general. So any spot you see, I mean, I think Clean Your Mile should actually be happening every day of the year. I think we all do it to some extent in our own neighborhoods. I was picking up some things in my neighborhood last night on my walk. So not something you really want to do all the time, but I think we do have a tremendous amount of folks that are doing this. I recently heard that there's a group that needs to now, believe it or not, go into Bristol Bird Sanctuary and go along the stream, because unfortunately there's some litter that's come into that area, and that's just recently completely refurbished. So we want to get on top of it and keep it clean. So we've got slobs and all the scout groups, lots of people reaching out to do Clean Your Mile. So I thank you to your granddaughter. She's terrific, terrific energy.
Can I ask you just one more thing?
Yes.
Sure.
I admit my ignorance. I have never heard of Planet New Canaan. What is it?
So I would encourage you probably to Google it. They have a pretty terrific website. I wouldn't want to summarize it other than they are a environmentally advocate group. I believe they work closely with the kids at the high school to do environmentally friendly river cleanups, public education outreach. But they do have a pretty comprehensive website. If you have, I can actually send the link to you. I believe I sent it to Dan. I'm happy to send it to everyone to take a look at what they are all about.
And they're always looking for new members, people to come on board and help. So Penny, you might want to think about that if you're interested. And they do a lot more than just working with the kids at the high school. There are all kinds of programs, and it's really it was founded by Robin Bates Mason, and it was intended to be a grassroots movement to try and make a difference and make New Canaan sustainable, but to do it in a way that is entirely non-partisan, that doesn't make anyone feel bad about anything too much, and is non-divisive. So they're always looking for small steps that we can take, and then some not so small steps. So they were kind of behind, I think, compostable dumps at the waste transfer station.
Oh. Kathleen, did Robin say anything about an upcoming meeting or anything with all these groups? Where is she kind
No.
of, does she handle this? Would she be the point person, I guess, for Planet New Canaan and other things? She organizing, like the Conservation Commission and the Land Trust, or no?
I mean, I think they have relationships and discussions, but I don't know of anything on the immediate calendar. They just did a couple programs at the library, as Colin mentioned, and also at the New Canaan Country School about a year and a half ago, right before COVID came out, Colin. That's when we were watching that great presentation, which was just terrific. So they do organize different events, and I think to Angela's point, the thought behind involving the library's platform is that they have a huge base of folks that they can get the word out to. If a program were to be launched from the library, they can probably reach over 12,000 potentially interested people. So yeah, I mean, Planet New Canaan is relatively small but mighty. I think they're doing incredible work. They work pretty closely with the Public Works Department on different initiatives. As Angela mentioned, the Food Scraps program probably was initiated from that, and the thrift shop or the I don't know
The
what
swap
it's
shop. The swap shop. Yeah.
That's it. I know it by a few different names. The swap shop. So there's nothing. There's, again, I think we're in just the idea phase
Yes.
of
Yes.
potentially what can we do? What's the best bang for our buck to get to reach people that might not otherwise know they need something. In addition to not just homeowners, but potentially the contractors doing the work in the community. That's another big group to be reaching out to and trying to provide some additional education and guidance and a face with who to ask the question to. So that's my goal.
Kathleen, I'm wondering, does the state of Connecticut have any resources, any standard videos or anything? You would think with 169 towns, they might have something.
Yeah, they do. The DEP has certainly some things. Some of it you've done in your own training on the segment 1, 2, and 3. But finding something, I'm going to look into that a little further, Colin, actually, and see if there's something more current that we might be able to use. So I'm not reinventing the wheel. I certainly will glean all useful information from any entities that are already put something together. I plan on reaching out to some of my sister departments in Greenwich and Norwalk and see what they might have that we could use for New Canaan as well.
I bet you the state or one of them has a little trifold or something with, just the simple facts on it, and which would be perfect because people don't want to watch a long video or read a lot of things. But if you can just do a little synopsis, like on a little card.
Absolutely. And that's when we're able to, I'll send you out what the Conservation Commission, Angela had shared with us what they've done. And it's really very well done. So we're sort of looking to follow the similar format, not overload people with a lot of information. I likely will partner up with probably Planning and Zoning because I think they are a sister agency to Inland Wetlands. And if people have questions for Inland Wetlands, they're going to have questions for Planning and Zoning. So, maybe something, again, not too much information, but just enough to perhaps get in the hands of somebody new to the community that might have a question about wetlands or planning and zoning matter. So a lot of ideas floating around.
Great idea.
I think giving it to the realtors would be a good idea too.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we do that annually, but we're going to put it in writing. We'll do that some more. You're absolutely right, Colin. Yeah, a huge group that, and again, for them to have something perhaps to hand out to someone, I think that's really very useful, helpful information.
Yep. Good idea.
It's good ideas, really.
In addition to the invasives, would it make sense to maybe have a quick statement or two about some of the common issues that arise for the people, especially for the people who are new to town? So, dredging a pond, or, if you're planning on building a pool, just kind of highlighting some of the common issues that we see come before the commission, either as full-blown applications or as administrative reviews, just to kind of highlight common issues that come up that people might not be aware of.
Good idea.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good.
Maybe some type of a fact sheet, and, make it simple, fact sheet.
Mm.
Do you know what's given
dump in the
out?
wet- I'm sorry, don't dump in the wetlands, don't fill the wetlands, don't tear down trees there without permission. Think about it before you do things.
Call. Give me a call.
Sorry,
All right.
Dan.
It sounds like everybody thinks it's a great idea, and I do too. So I guess what we do, we think about it a little bit more, but what would be the first thing we would do if we produce something? Would it be the so-called fact sheet or backgrounder or something like that as a handout? Is that probably what we would do first?
I think that's the first relatively simple thing to
Yeah.
most immediate pressing to get into the hands of newcomers to New Canaan.
Okay. And are you gonna check with Greenwich and Wilton and see what they do? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting then. I'll talk some more about it. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, that's all I got. So we got our next meet. I'm sorry. We have our next meeting, June 21st. Kathleen, you've heard rumors that maybe it'll be in person meeting?
Nothing as of yet. So we're just going to stay tuned on that for right now. I'm waiting for, direction from the front office regarding what our next steps might be. So for right now, we'll, I'll certainly let you know as soon as I know what we might be doing. Certainly we will be doing our site visit in person. We'll be outside. We'll probably have everyone wear a mask if we're in that situation. I think that makes everyone the most comfortable. But I'll send some follow-up guidance on that as well.
Okay, good. Anything else, anybody? All right, well, thank you very much. And we'll see you in June 21st.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye.
Bye.
Did anyone move to adjourn? Do we need to?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll
Are you
move.
moving to adjourn? All right. Who's gonna say? I'll second it. All those in favor?
Okay.
Aye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye.